What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and in this video we'll be going over part 2 of my worldwide download celebration predictions. Last video we went over the Future Saga, making a Vegeta Blue as Zamasu, and then a Super Saiyan Blue Goku and a Goku Black. In this prediction, we are still taking the concept from the video Dokkan put out with the time machine and bringing it over to the Cell Saga. So, without further ado, let's get into part 1. What I think, if it was the Cell Saga, part 1 would obviously have to be something along these lines with a Cell and a Gohan. So my prediction was a Tech LR Carnival Gohan with the father-son Kamehameha. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and then his counterpart, matching perfectly, would be an AGL LR Dokkan Fest Perfect Form Cell. So if it was to be Cell Saga, I think this is just the perfect part 1 that you can make. Just overall very hype. I wouldn't be too mad if it was this, but unfortunately we wouldn't have this Vegeta Blue that I really want. But if it ends up being the Cell Saga, this would also be such a great idea. For part 1, because we don't really have good animations for standalone Super Saiyan 2 Gohan besides the AGL transforming one. Is really the only animations we have, and I think they still have so much they can do with this Cell Saga Gohan. So I think this would be the perfect part 1, and then Perfect Form Cell. I don't think we really have an LR Perfect Cell besides the transforming one, so once again, both of these units just can use an LR with still a bunch of animations they can use. So this being a part 1 to a Cell Saga celebration is just perfect. Then coming down here for the banner units, since Cell is the Dokkan Fest, he would be getting the banner units. I made a Cell Junior banner unit. I know we have one already, but he's not great, so we can get a new one. I made him Intelligence, and he can support artificial life forms or androids / Cell Saga. So I think this is a good banner unit they can use. Super attack animation wise, there's a ton of things they can use. They haven't put much in that Cell Junior card, so they can make this a very good support unit for this Cell. And I think overall for a Cell Saga celebration, this would be perfect. Or they can make a Tech Android 19 that can support artificial life forms or power absorption, which this Cell would be on both. So this is still a very good support unit. I think any one of these would be beneficial for this type of celebration for this Cell. And I would be cool to see. They can make cool animations, especially out of both of these units. We don't really have any cards of these units besides the 19 and 20. But especially Cell Juniors, there's not much cards that are even decent. So I think if they do a decent, really good banner unit, Cell Junior or a 19, it could be very good for this type of celebration. Moving on to part 2. Part 2 is just very perfect to line up against part 1. Would be a physical LR Dokkan Fest Super Vegeta. The only type of Super Vegeta that really has representation in this game is the STR Dokkan Fest one, and they still have a bunch of animations they can use. They only use the Final Flash, so a bunch of attacks they can use for this Dokkan Fest Super Vegeta. I think it's the perfect type of card to line up with this part 1 and still bring a little bit of hype for part 2. Me personally, I'm a big Vegeta stand over Goku, so even though you can make this a Bye Guys Goku, I really like to see a Super Vegeta if it was a Cell Saga celebration for the part 2 unit. So if it were to be a Bye Guys Goku, it would still be perfect. So you can go ahead and put that there, or still have the Super Vegeta. So either one of these will still be perfect, but honestly more of the Bye Guys Goku now that I'm looking, because now when we follow up the other part of part 2 is an Int LR Carnival second form cell that has a standby into him exploding, and then after the explosion standby, he can come back out as a super perfect cell. I think following a Bad Guy's Goku could be perfect for the second form cell for a part 2 unit, because it's literally just from the same scene. So it's honestly perfect here. Or you can still keep the Super Vegeta as a card, so you can get that hype, for me at least. But either one of these will still be beneficial for this part 2 unit because of this second form cell. So either one of these obviously can still be fire for Cell Saga Celebration. Moving on to the banner units for the Bad Guy's Goku or the Super Vegeta, I think they can make a STR-TN that can be an Android/Cell Saga support unit, or even a Worthy Rivals. So Worthy Rivals would be for the Super Vegeta because he and this TN would both be on this Worthy Rivals and this Android/Cell Saga team. So getting the support for Worthy Rivals or Android/Cell Saga would be perfect for this Vegeta. Or if it's a Goku, we have this Tech Piccolo, that's an Android/Cell Saga support, or Heavenly Events, because most of the Android/Cell Saga units are also on Heavenly Events. So even if it ends up being a Bad Guy's Goku, it still would be perfect for this Tech Piccolo to be this type of support unit because of the Heavenly Events. So even if it's not a Bad Guy's Goku or Super Vegeta, any Android/Cell Saga unit that it would be, this Piccolo would give the perfect support to because of this Android/Cell Saga support and also the Heavenly Events. So this is the perfect Baron units to have against this part 2. Dokkan Fest, Bad Guy's Goku, or even the Super Vegeta. And then following up part 2, we can have some easy A's. For Android/Cell Saga, even with Future Saga, both of these type of celebrations have a bunch of units that can use Easy A's, such as In Future Gohan is definitely one of them. A very old unit that still can definitely use this Easy A. AGL Super Saiyan Vegeta, not very great at the time we're recording. Even when he first came out, he was pretty decent at the time, but he definitely can use an Easy A now. And then it could also be Physical Heart Virus Goku or STR Second Form Cell. These are more newer units than these In Future Gohan, but if they get an Easy A, they can become very good units. Because this Heart Virus Goku isn't really bad, but an Easy A can definitely help him out. Also with the second form cell, following up this part 2 and part 1 is just perfect units to be Easy A'd. They can give a bunch of support with these units and also make these units very good for the celebration following part 1 and part 2. So I say this is very good units they can use to Easy A. So let me know your opinions on this part 2 predictions. Which one do you like more? Do you like the Future Saga predictions with the Vegeta and Zamasu and the Blue Goku and Goku Black? Or are you more of a fan of the Cell Saga predictions with the Father-Son Kamehameha Gohan with the Cell, and then the part 2 with the Bad Guy's Goku or Super Vegeta, and the second form Cell that can transform after the explosion standby? Let me know your thoughts on these predictions, and drop a like down below, subscribe so we can hit 200 subscribers by the end of the year. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out.